music. Got the music, got the camera, got a charging cord. Let me make sure everything is up and running. Hey, hello moon. All right, my turn to type. Hello everyone. Please say a silly something if you like. We made it. It's a good feeling. So this live stream will be supporting Food Share in Ventura County. The link is in the description of this video. Maya, hello! How lovely to see you. The link to the fundraiser that I'm doing for Ventura Food Share is in the description of this video. And anything that I paint tonight, I will be donating to the, no, sorry, wrong words. I will be gifting as a thank you to the highest donation this evening to the Food Share. Only donate if you can. This isn't a winning thing. This is a gift of thanks. And Food Share is a really excellent program. It's been feeding families here in Ventura County, and I really like their efficiency, their communication, and their transparency, and how many families they can feed with so few dollars. So everything you donate counts and matters. Thank you for being here. So the rule, the only rule, and it's not even a real rule, it's more of like a do it if you like. Anytime I drink my tea, that's when you drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a deep breath. Now, if you'd like to paint along with this piece, I have a free download for you, also a link in the description of this video. You don't have to use this to paint along. You don't even have to do it tonight. You can do it later. We're also going to do some cards, some holiday cards. They will be a wreath as well. So you don't even have to have a drawing for this one. As you can see, this is blank. You'll just have to fold the paper. So we'll get to that. So it's going to be 2 projects this evening. You can follow along, watch, take part, or just enjoy the music and the chattering. Oh, I'm very happy to be here. This is my time to sit uninterrupted in my studio for an hour and a half, and I get to share it with you guys. Aww, thank you, Maya. She's throwing some compliments in the comments, and that's very nice. Thank you. So, remember the only rule of the evening when I sip my tea, which is chamomile. Some of you like to call it chamomile. Drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a deep breath. Sarah, you made it. Hello. It's nice to see you. Thank you for joining. We were just decompressing together. So, link in the description for this piece. No link needed. So what we're going to actually do is start with the no link needed. So if you did want to print this file out onto watercolor paper to follow along, you have time. Link is in the description. So for a little holiday card that you can either keep or send to other people, we're going to paint 2, and then you'll cut it after the paint dries. So you take your watercolor paper, you fold it in half once, and then you fold it in half again. And then when you spread it out, put it down. Anybody with sensitive ears, turn the volume down now as I put the tape on. For some reason, when I unroll this tape, it comes out very loud on the mic that I have right here. So I'm going to give you the count of 3. And when I'm done taping, you can turn the volume back up. Jenny, you're here. Hello. So 3, 2, mute. I'm so sorry. If you don't have a board, you don't have to. Oh, I'm on mute. Tell you after. Oh. I play these recordings back to myself, for those of you who don't have me on mute. And I hear the sound of the tape and I think, oh, that's loud. You can turn volume back up. So this is going to be a wreath shape. And I will show you one, and then we're going to duplicate it on the second one. And I'm going to show you how you can just build on your watercolor. And there's always a time when it looks mucky and weird. On this one, we're going to use transparencies and not a lot of control. It's going to be a very free form. So I am using my ice green, but you can use any green. This is going to be for the pine needles of the wreath. Oh, I'm so glad it's like ASMR for you guys. I appreciate all your commenting. The more you comment, the more YouTube says, oh my, they're doing something correct. Let's get this video in front of more viewers, which means more opportunity for people to see the link to donate to Food Share. We're going to be using a very soft round, and I need to fill up my water. You don't have to use filtered water. You can use tap water. I'm using filtered water because I have this in my studio to make me drink. But now my painting is thirsty, so my painting must drink. Where did my soft brush go? Here. So I'm going to test this green to make sure it's not too strong. So just test it on the little paper here. And then you're literally just going to paint a circle. I think I could go with more pigment. Is this coming up on the camera? Yeah. Just anywhere. Oh, there we go. You make a donut. I promise you, this is going somewhere. And then you make little pine needles. It helps if they go in one direction, as if the wreath is spinning and it's throwing off little bits of things. But you can do it this way too. I'll show you. All kinds of directions of pine needles. That is also realistic. I find I like to put order where I can in a watercolor painting because it tends to have natural chaos. And you just keep adding. It's best to do this while the donut shape is still wet. Do it to the inside. That's the base of the wreath. I'm going to do it again. Nice thick donut. And then I'm going to make the little spines go the other direction this time. Kind of helter-skelter. This one's going to be a little bit more like I took it out of the garage recently and they haven't settled. Because yes, I store my wreaths in the garage because they're not real. This is one of the reasons I really like watercolor, is if you look at the wreath that we just made, the green is already blending together nicely, as if I had intentionally just made that shape in just a few brush strokes. Now if you like, we can also do some holly berries. I'm going to do holly berries on one of them, and you don't have to do it on all of them. One moment. And for the holly leaves, I'm going to pick a slightly smaller brush. Let's do a little flat, like one of these. You can pick any kind of brush as long as it's smaller and easier to control. You can do a round. I just happen to like this one because it has little sharp edges, and Holly has sharp edges. I'm a fan of the number 3 in paintings. So I'm going to start with a leaf in the middle. I draw the middle of the leaf, and then I draw some little spikes off it, and then draw the middle of the leaf, and then here again. That's literally holly leaves. It'll make more sense when you put 3 little red dots on it. This is just a mass, intentionally, to show you that if you just put 3 little red berries on a mass, it'll look like holly. I'm going to do that up here as well, so that there's a bit of symmetry, and then I'll do the 3 at the bottom again. So for the leaf, let me make sure I'm holding this so you can see it. A line in the middle, it's the middle of your leaf, and then you just do these little spiky edges off it. The middle of the leaf can have a shape as well. Like a little S curve if you want. And speaking of S curve, this is the front of our card. This is the back of our card. Because this card has become the fancy one, and this has become the simple one, I'm going to put a little wreath on the back of this one so that when somebody's holding the card and they turn around to the back, they'll see there's also a little wreath. So this is a fun time for the S curve. So I don't want to cover this camera. So it's going to be like a wreath hanging in a doorway, one of those laurel wreath things. So I draw the center line, and then it dropping down. It's like a weird M shape. And then the same way that I had the technique for these little guys here, do the same thing. And you can do different lengths. You don't have to worry about perfection because the watercolor will take care of it. It'll make it cohesive, especially if you do wet on wet, which is what we're doing right now. Trying to paint so you can see the... In this case, I want to create a little bit of order, but you don't have to. So I have all my lines going the same direction. But I'll show you what it looks like when you don't, and that it's fine. For this one, I'm not going to make the lines go the same direction, and you'll see that it doesn't matter. So they're going to go down, they're going to go side, they're going to go up. This is the fuzzy end, the one that was jammed up in the garage before I took it out. I had someone at the store very sweetly ask me, "So you're ready for the holiday season?" And I said, excuse me? They're like, "You know, with the holidays coming up, you ready?" And I didn't want to disappoint him, but I mean, I also had to be honest. I was like, "No, I'm not ready." And then he said, "But it's already December." I felt like apologizing. I just moved on. So for anybody else that isn't ready for the holidays, I'm with you and it's fine. We're okay. For those of you that are ready, congratulations. That sounds nice. I love it. Okay, we're gonna let this dry because we don't want to put any red on this presently because then everything will mush together. So if you have already downloaded and printed this out on a watercolor paper, that's great. If not, you can watch and follow along how something goes from mucky to all of a sudden having order. So this is a really great way to demonstrate that because watercolor has usually 2 stages, 3 if you have time. The first stage is, oh my God, what is this? It looks a mess. Then that dries. Second stage is, let's put some shadows in. Let's put some details in. And then the third stage is if you have time. Let me put in some highlights. Let me really get into these details and just add some textures. So I am definitely going to take you through stage 1 and 2. And 1 is my favorite. I love me a beautiful mess. So the way I like to control watercolor, and I'm doing green again, and I'm going to do it with a smaller brush, a smaller round. Rounds are fun to control because they can really get into the nooks and crannies and cover large areas, but you have to have a nice taper. So this one has a nice taper. That's when it goes from thick to thin. So water first, then color, and that way I can control how much color I put on the piece. So I'm starting with my greens because it's a good theme. I started with green with the other one, do green now. And blot the green in. It's like coloring with marker a little bit. And I'm just going to add a little bit more pigment in. Because that's something I love about watercolors, what it decides to do when you do that. The reason I'm turning the canvas is because I don't want my hand to smear all the work I just did. So again, just water. Go in with your paint. If any of you have a holiday season story that you wouldn't mind sharing with the internet, go ahead and give us a brief summary in the comments so I can chuckle with you. I usually don't go out during the season because I have a lot of memories of people aggressively buying, shopping, getting gifts, decorations, that last minute helter-skelter. So I haven't been out much. It's been very peaceful. Oh, I used up all my green already. I tend to go very heavy-handed with my colors, which is why my paintings are so saturated. It does go through a lot of paint though. So all in all, my holiday season has been rather mellow, very focused at home, and that's what I personally prefer. Turning the canvas so as not to get my hand mucking up the painting. You can't write and paint at the same time? I don't know anyone who can, actually. If anyone here can write and paint at the same time. Oh, because I asked you to write a comment. Makes sense. That means you're painting along with me. Thank you. I should have given parameters. For those of you not painting and just hanging out and watching and following along, feel free to write something in the comments. If you are painting, please don't feel obligated to type. Thank you for wanting to contribute. My apologies for not clarifying. Upside down smiley face. Yeah, that's pretty much me. Thank you for giving me the heads up. I'm delighted to know that you're painting along with me. The nice thing about having two paintings is while one dries, you work on the other. Ah, Jenny, thank you for commenting. You're stretching and watching, and I delight in that. We all need that time. I appreciate all of you here and commenting. It's a very nice way to spend a Wednesday, is it? Is it Wednesday? Oh my goodness. It is Wednesday. So for those of you that are local, there's a chance that I will be teaching an in-person watercolor class next year sometime. It will be in the Valley in Southern California. And I will let you all know how it goes. So this wreath has this bright green. I now want to move on to my holly situation, and I personally would like that green to be slightly different. And I'm going to mix it. I'm going to use a little bit of iris blue. You can use anything you like. You can make your own darker green, lighter green, brighter green. You can use a green that you already have. I just want to make mine. So a little bit of this iris blue, and then I mix my green into it. And I'm going to do a test. Yes, that delights me. I think I'm going to get away with a little bit of bleed from one color to the other. It'd be best if I let it dry a little more. So let's go back to our voting card while we let that green wreath dry. And let's find a red, any red that you like. I'm going to go for raspberry. It's literally called raspberry. So I'm going to show you how to create a lie. I'm going to teach you how to be a liar. This is how I create the lie of a wreath with a ribbon. I draw the top of the ribbon, little S curve. Let's see if you can see it. Little S curve here, it goes into the wreath. So because my little spiny guys, is that the official term? The leaves, the pine needles are going in this direction. I'm gonna pretend in my head that I think, you know what, this is gonna be kind of the outline of some spinies here. And then I just fill in the rest. And I'm going to do that a few more times so you can see that. And then I draw the rest of the ribbon. I'm going to make it a thick ribbon here. And then I'm going to have it come in again. And I am doing the paint directly on the watercolor paper for optimal pigment saturation magic. So top of the ribbon with an S curve. You can really do anything you want with that curve. And then I'm going to pretend, draw outlines of little spinies here. Is that coming through? And then here I'm going to have the thickness of the ribbon revealed. Actually, I think I want the ribbon going that way. I'm going to just follow that shape. I'm going to do one more, and then I'm going to paint the bow. So from the, I'm going to turn it because it's easier for me to draw an S shape like this. From the middle, it's more of like a wonky S, like a cane. It's okay if they touch here. I'm gonna do a couple more pretend spinies. I'm going to fill in the back of the ribbon. So the ribbon should be thickest on the outside of your wreath. If it goes too thin, the lie no longer works because your brain will think, what's happening? So now for the bow. A circle in the middle, and then trust me on this one, 2 bunny ears. I promise. Bunny ears, yeah. And then you draw the bottom of the bow, which kind of follows the line of the bunny ear, but it's the bottom of the bow, and then you connect the edges. To connect the edges, if you want to fold, you do a little divot. Whoa! And now we're going to paint that in. And then I'm going to add a little thickness to the top of that. And then we're going to have the ribbons hanging down. So just 2 swoops, and then you connect them at the bottom. And now for the berries. I like groups of 3. Hop, hop. Happy Christmas. That delights me. Thank you. Yes, bunny ears. Now you know how to draw a bow. I'm doing the back of the card too. Just like doing 3 little red dots. It's very Christmas. Happy Yule. Happy holiday. Happy winter. So now to continue this lie so the brain fills in the pine needles, I'm going to take my, whoops, wrong green, the green from the wreath, and just draw a couple more texture little lines And I'm going to actually put a little bit of a shadow on the other side. To help with the illusion of it overlapping. So you just do another line next to it that's slightly darker, because you're building the green. So like I said, this is the fancy one. This one's going to be very simple. I'm going to show you how to do a hanging bow. So for the hanging bow, we're going to use these as our guidelines, and we are not going to paint on top. We're going to paint behind, as if the bow is hanging underneath. And then we're going to put little pearls and decorations and ornaments on this one. So I'm just going to show you how to create interesting texture. Let me see. This is as close as we're going to get right now. So the bow is going to be this shape, but behind this. So you're not going to draw the whole thing. I'll explain. So here's the circle of the center of the bow. I did a little bit, and there's a pine needle in front of it. So I paint around the pine needle. I'm going to do the bottom half of the bunny ear. And then I'm going to use my brush to paint around the pine needles. And so now we've got a little pine needle texture feel as I paint in through the white spots. And then another little hanging bit for the bow. And I'm going to stick with red right now for the ornaments. You can pick any color you like. I'm going to draw a round ornament behind. This ornament, I want to put a shine on it. So I draw a little circle inside, and I don't paint in that circle. But I paint around the little pine needles. I'm going to put another circle here. So now we've got a little bit of layering happening. Some in front, some behind. And now for a candy cane. I'll just show you. You draw one side, then the other, and then some people like their stripes straight. We'll do one with straight stripes, and then I'm going to show you the way I like to do my stripes. And this candy cane is going to be hooked onto the inside of the wreath. So I'm going to bring up the arm, and then there goes the elbow, I guess. It goes behind the wreath. And I like to do slants. And see, even though we're just layering right on top of the green, if you're sending this to a person, like I hand painted this card for you, it's going to make them feel very special. I'm going to do a candy cane behind. So I do broken up lines to go behind the little leaves that I created. And fill in the stripes as best as possible. Do another candy cane over here. You can put them wherever you like. So now I'm going to choose another color for my little baubles and beads on this one. I am partial to purple. So I'm going to do one of these ornaments that my grandmother used to have. They had like a dome up top and then like a saucer bit, and they came down and it had like a little needle point. Did anybody have those? Did you ever have any of those old-fashioned? They were like glass. We weren't allowed to touch them until we were old enough to not break them. Oh, good night, Jenny. Thank you for joining. And then there's this kind, right? I'll put another one behind here. I like that shape. And I like this color so much, I'm going to put some beads on this one. Just an impression. I want them to go behind the bow, kind of loop around. And then when that dries, we're just going to cut. And you'll have 2 holiday cards to give to somebody that you care about. We are back with painting this one. So we're gonna go back to that green that I made, just a slightly different green. Do I do water first? I think I want to go straight in with the paint. Because it's a small area, I'm not as worried about losing the control. Oh my gosh, we haven't had a tea break. I'll take a tea break after I paint these 3. Alright, tea break, which means I drink tea. You can either drink with me, or you lower your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a breath, and if you're smashing your tongue to the roof of your mouth, relax that as well. Blah. Spinning so not to muck all the work that we just did. So for the bow and the ribbon, we're going to do a bit of color blending. I'm going to be using red and purple. You can use any two colors you like. Red and orange, yellow and gold, whatever you like. I will be using my glitter paints. They don't translate very well on camera, but in person they have an absolutely gorgeous luster. These happen to be the Fine Tech pearlescent colors. They have a couple of different sets. They are linked in the video description. They're affiliate links, so if you happen to get one, I get like a couple pennies, which is sweet. I'm going to be using this purple and this red. So I'm actually going to take them right out of the palette and use them like that. So these are watercolor pasties, platelets. Different people call them different things. Tablets. So it's good to put a drop of water in them first before you start painting with them, otherwise it's going to get difficult because the paint won't come out. So my main color, you're going to pick one main color that your ribbon's going to be, and then a blend color, just for fun. It serves no other purpose than beauty and satisfaction. So for this one, I will be wetting the paper first because I want to control this gradient for a little bit anyway. So I'm going to start with the red as my main color. Actually, let's put this here so that if I raise the painting to show you, oh my god, I love these paints so much. I don't know if you can see the shine, but this is why I love painting. So yeah, just enjoy the paint. Fill in your shape. So that's my main color. And I'm going to come in with my secondary just for funsies and blend them. Let's see if you can see the shimmer. Doesn't come out well yet. You can see it here in person. I think it comes out better on camera when it's dry. So I'll just show it to you later. So we're just going to repeat that process to all the ribbon. Wet the paper. Pick your main color. I'm actually going over some of the line work with my main color. And where there's little dents in the bow, I'm just adding a little bit more pigment to give the illusion of depth. It's not necessary. It's just something I like to do. Alright, secondary color. and blend. And follow that, these ribbons. Wet the paper. Main color, color of preference. I'm just going to use a touch of purple in the inside shadow portion of that ribbon. And a touch of line work for my own satisfaction. I love this shine. It's crazy to me that we don't have much left of this year. I'm glad to be spending it here with you. This is nice. I actually don't know this song. I put in a YouTube playlist. I like it. It's romantic. Oh.
I'll write the poems, you correct all the grammar. Yeah, goes automatic when you sit in my stand, girl. Grab on your wrist, let's go dance in the mist. Take you back to the street where you wave me goodbye from your window.
If anybody's having any trouble with this particular piece, or if you have questions regarding blending wet on wet, dry to wet, any questions you may have when you're not painting, go ahead and put them in the chat and I will do my best to answer them. If I don't know the answer, then I won't pretend to. I won't pretend to know.
Wanting to spend every moment together. But when that last butterfly takes flight, all that is left is time. And time is unkind if you haven't learned patience. The more we would talk, the less we would listen. The more we would stare, the more we would speak. And the softer we touch, the harder we fought. He withdrew into his room, and I decided to leave.
Going in with some more shadow. And then the red that I'm going to use for the berries will be a brighter and different red. I just really wanted like a shimmery glitter ribbon. Very seasonal, very fetch. Oh, is this a little jazzy lo-fi? Okay. On with that shadow again. And so now that I've established that the secondary color is my shadow, that's what I'm going to fill in the center of the bow with, because that would be darker than the rest of the bow. It's getting less light there. So now the purple is going to be my main color on the inside. Oh, I just forgot to check the time. Okay, we're fine. I'm going to put quite a lot of pigment in there. Right now I have a little bit too much paint on my brush, so I dab a little bit of it off on the paper towel I have here. And then for the rest of the ribbon, I'm just going to continue the vibe I've established. And I'm okay with the colors bleeding together here. So I'm going to sign this piece, and I'm also going to sign the little holiday cards. And if you can, donate any amount to the fundraiser I have linked for Food Share Ventura County in the description of this video. I would be very grateful. And if you happen to be the only one that donates this evening, if it's $1, you get all these paintings. I will mail them to you. And thanks. I will be checking the fundraiser at 8:25, and whoever gives the highest bid will receive the thank you at that time. The donations do have to be, you have to put your name with them. If you write an anonymous donation, I don't even see your name because they do protect everyone's privacy. So if you do an anonymous donation, I will be unable to gift you a painting as a thank you. So if you do decide to donate, and also for the opportunity to receive these original paintings, make sure you write your name. Let's see if I can get any of this shine to show you. Let me see if I can find the right angle. It's so glittery here. Why won't it come up on the camera? I mean, can you see it a little bit? The way it becomes brighter. So in the camera, where it's brighter, that's actually glitter. It's lovely. I love these paints. Love, 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 love for them. They're very expensive. You don't have to buy them. Oh my God. They're very expensive. So I really liked that raspberry color that I used in the other cards. So we're going to go a little matchy-matchy here. And I'm going to go straight in with the pigment. I don't need to plan these out because they're small enough area. So in the drawing, that I supplied. Also, free download in the link in the description of this video. There's these little spots, and I want those to be the highlights on my berries. So I don't color those in. So we're still at stage 1 of watercolor painting, where everything kind of feels similar in weight and importance. And we're going to change that in phase 2, which will happen shortly. I'm just diluting my color a little bit with a touch of water, because I want to be able to control the saturation a little bit more. Turning the canvas. Sorry, the paper. This isn't canvas. I'm very lucky that my studio is hot and dry. So this has already started drying. So I'm going to start a phase 2 of a watercolor painting, even though I haven't even finished phase 1 of the candle, because I'm in the zone. Speaking of the zone, drop your shoulders, unclench your jaw, take a deep breath. So, to help create levels, we do that with shadow, and we can create shadow in watercolor by just painting over the piece again. And I am actually going to mix a little bit of red with a little bit of blue. It creates purple. You could also just use purple, but I like to control the amount of coolness to warmth. And then all of these berries, there's one in the front. You just leave the one in the front alone, and you paint the ones behind it. And what I like to do to make it feel like it's glistening is I don't paint all the way to the edge, because reflective things tend to do that. And you don't have to paint the whole thing. It gives the illusion of a shadow. So I'm going to do that to all the berries. So leave the one in the front alone. Don't touch, no touchy. Unless you want. I'm going to start with the one in the back. That one gets the most amount of purple shadow, but I don't paint the whole thing. I leave the edge alone. And it creates like that glistening feel. And then the next one, I don't paint it all the way. Just the part where it touches the other berry. So see how I only painted half of it? One in the back, most paint. One in the front, least paint. One in the middle, gets a little bit of the middle. These are all very technical terms, technical painting terms. So the nice thing with watercolor is you can just keep building to your liking. And it can actually be quite therapeutic because you can spend quite a bit of time on one painting. And you get into the rhythm of working the colors. And I like that moment when I kind of get lost in the painting. The frustrating part is coming back out of it and realizing how much time has passed. I do have a touch of time blindness, we're discovering. But painting seems to make that worse. But for all the best reasons. Now I have a personal belief that we all are inherently creative and have a need to create. And when we have the opportunity to do that, it regulates our nervous system, lowers our cortisol, and it makes the challenges of life just that much easier to deal with. I'm not saying it will solve all your problems, but it definitely helps me figure out how to solve mine. So we've got some berries with shadows. Now I want to get back into these leaves. Similar kind of technique. I am going to make a bluer, cooler green. And I'm going to decide which one is in the back. And I paint that one. The way I'm doing that is I do a little bit into the middle, kind of like a widow's peak or like Maleficent's hat, if you know what I'm talking about. Just this kind of shape, so it goes to the middle of the leaf, like that. And then I put a little extra pigment here at the base. That was a lot. Let me blend that out. And that way we have a little bit of shadow. And I'm going to do that to 2 leaves or 1 leaf, depending. It's a little widow's peak. And maybe a little bit of center line on the other one. Ooh, and then this is a nice time to, if you'd like to add veins to the leaf. This is a nice time to do that. Adds a little extra something. Shouldn't have to. I'm going to blend that out a little more. That's so cute, little leaves. It's already 8:07. Oh my goodness. Okay, we gotta get to the candle after these leaves. I spin my painting a lot. See how quiet I got? I get so focused mode. I'm like, ah, painting. Okay, time for candle. I'm going to go with this theme, and I'm going to do a purplish kind of candle. Because it's me picking the colors. You can do whatever color candle you like. I'm just going in straight with the paint because it's a small area. And I'm not worried about covering the entire area before the paint dries. I want some glitter. Okay, glitter. I'm just going to mix the glitter in, just right into my paint. Ooh. Some things just make me happy for no reason other than they exist. And this paint is one of them. Okay. My favorite way to paint a candle is yellow and blue. It makes the candle feel hot. I want more yellow than that. Let's see. There's tiger yellow. Oh, here we go. Tiger yellow. Rawr. Yes. So the candle always burns hottest at the wick. You can do this many ways. You can even leave the little circle. Oh no! You see that? That is not yellow. That was a dirty brush. Let me try again. Let us clean this brush properly. There we go. And I will wet it. And then I'm going to try again. There. Much better. Much better. Because this painting is symbolic of the holiday season, I'm going to put a little bit of a glow around the candle flame. I'm going to start with water because I want this to blend away. And I'm going to go back in with the yellow and put a lot of pigment at the top where the candle burns the hottest, and then blend it out from there. Blend out one side so it blends to white, and then blend out the other side. And then for the blue in the middle, I'm gonna maybe juniper green. No, I want Norway blue. No, ice. Where's my ice? Yes. Ice blue. You can leave it white if you prefer, because that also makes the candle feel hot. I am a fan of fire. One of the things I love about fire is the colors. So I'm going to put a touch of blue in the center, and because there's no blue anywhere else in the piece, the eye will naturally go to the center because of the color choice. So flame is done. Ooh, candle holder. I don't want to disrupt the vibe or anything. I'm just going to do another bit of green. Like somebody got a green candle holder to match their wreath. Speaking of green, I wonder if I have time to put a little bit of shadow in here. I'd like to. Let's see, I think I have enough time. So I start with just following where the ribbon goes. And then, since my wreath needles are going this way, I'm just going to follow that. This creates shadow. And I think I'll do it under the berries as well, so that there's some consistency. I'm just going in right with the same green paint, the same green saturation and color as the rest of the wreath. But see, watercolor layers naturally. And I want the bottom of the wreath to feel like there's the bow there, there's some more berries. So I'm just going to fill in the bottom here with this green to make it feel like it's bending down. So the light source is still coming from the top. So now the pine needles are going up. So now I do it a little differently, a little slower, more spaced, so that it feels like the pine needles are kind of like going in, versus here the pine needles are coming out. Can you see the difference? Yes. I'm just adding a little bit more pine needle texture in areas of the wreath for my own satisfaction. And we will be finishing this painting. And then I'll sign it. And then we'll see if anybody would like to donate. And remember, if nobody's donating, and you're the only one, you get these. These could become Christmas gifts, holiday gifts. You can save them for a gift for next year. We are actually more than halfway to my goal of the fundraiser. I was hoping to raise $1,000 through these live streams, and we're already halfway. And that's already plenty. So I'm quite satisfied with where the fundraiser is already. The goal was more of a, gee, would that be nice if they got that amount to feed the families of Ventura County? But I don't have to reach the goal for them to have the funds and be able to use them. It's a nice way to fundraise. Figure out where to put my hand so I don't smudge the painting. I'm just adding a couple of little extra shadows. And I think if I have time, I'm going to go into the bow as well. Help the bow pop a little bit. Okay, so I feel like the wreath is in a really good spot now. And I'm going to use just regular purple. It's just like 3 purples mixed on my palette. Let me show you. There's 3 different purples. And I'm thinking, you know, that's a great shadow color. I love it. This is not a rule. This is just something that people learn when they're first painting. It's that cool colors help a shadow feel like a shadow, because our sun is a yellow sun, so we associate warmer colors with light and sunlight. But I mean, there's thousands of artists that don't abide by that and they make gorgeous art. This is just a cheat code. So I'm just going in to where there were lines drawn on the piece. And I kind of double down on those lines and I say, you know what, I'm gonna draw those lines with this shadow color. Thicken them up. Refine some edges here. And I am quite pleased with this painting. So I'm going to go ahead and sign this with colored pencil. I like that. So many colors to choose from. Don't want a pen. Let's see. Testing the screen color. Oh, yes. Okay. You can barely see it. It looks great on the tape. Fine. If the painting wants paint. Now, let me try one more time. Wow, you know what? I'm going to go over there in a moment anyway to cut this. So you might have to mute for a little bit while I take the tape off, because we're going to cut. You can use scissors. I'm going to use my paper cutter. Volume back up. I'm just going to cut right here with my paper cutter. Can you see from there? I think you might. Right, now to find the right pencil. Ooh. That should work. We'll test it on these ones, and then I'll sign off this piece. So if you haven't donated yet to the fundraiser, and you'd like to, oh, thank you, Sarah. Take care. I'll see you later, hopefully. Good night. So I'm going to sign the back of this as well. Yeah, that's good. So these two are little holiday cards that you could send to somebody if you like, or keep them. And hopefully you were able to make some as well. And now I'm going to sign this piece. Let's see if you can see the shimmer yet now that it's dry. Sometimes when it's dry, it's yes. Shimmer paint. I'm going to sign this now. And thank you for everyone who joined. I am about to check the fundraiser in a few minutes, see if anybody was able to donate. If not, trust me, I understand. Clean up a little bit. If you are finished painting, cleanup is always a good idea. And if you ever want to share what you painted, please send it to me. My DMs and Instagram are open. My Patreon is a great place to message me as well. It's a lovely community there. And time for tea. Thank you for everybody for showing up. It's really nice to share this all with you. Move my brushes so you can see my other monitor. Oh, Maya, thank you for donating and thank you for your generosity. It's going to help a lot of families. They really make a difference. So I'll leave the fundraiser up for one more minute, but it looks like Maya will be receiving these paintings, and I'm so happy that you were able to donate. Much appreciated. We'll wait just another minute until it hits 8:25, and then we will be officially giving a thank you painting. Aleta, if you are watching right now, I saw your donation earlier in the week. It's very generous. Thank you so much for donating to Food Share Ventura County. It's really lovely to see that there's momentum to the fundraiser, even when I'm not promoting it on these live streams. It's very kind. All right, 8:25, refresh. Maya, thank you so much. Now, you happen to be one of my patrons and also a dear sister. So I am very happy to be able to mail you these because I know your address. And I really look forward to next week's last painting session for the year. And now, as a treat for everybody who stayed, I drew a Lady Krampus for next week. And I will be painting her, most likely, unless my mood changes. And she will be a free download for you all to color in whatever format you like, in watercolor, in marker, in colored pencil. She's not available to download yet, but because you stayed, you get to see what's happening next week on my very, very last live stream for the year. Wonderful. I'm so glad you had a good time. Thank you for everyone for showing up. Hope to see you next week. If you can't make it, I understand. December's crazy. All the more reason to get together, paint, take some deep breaths. So I am going to bid you good night. Wish you sweet dreams. And I hope to see you next week for a little bit of Krampus painting. All right, yes, send me what you painted. Everybody, if you can. I love you too. Thank you, Joel.